It'll be just 1 second, everybody. I'm just making sure that I'm live on TV. Alrighty, let's see. And we have success. Alright, very cool. Very, very, very good. Okay. Alright. Just give me one more moment and we'll be ready to go. Alright, good afternoon everybody. This is Sunday, March 23rd, 2014, and welcome to the Rooplee show, where I talk about Dota, among other things. I want to get you guys good, so let's focus on the game. Thank you guys for tuning in. So, today I want to tell you guys a story. So, it was probably a couple of years back. I was playing a game of Dota, and I don't know if you guys have experienced this or not, though. I know people up in the higher levels experience this from time to time, but not necessarily always. When you go into a game, and what I like to call is the Pokemon effect. So what happens is, whenever I go into a game, there's sometimes that you just know somebody on one of the teams. That's like when you find that Pokemon. Say you find that wild, Zapdos or whatever, even though I know Zapdos is in a specific spot, but you get the idea. So you find that Pokemon, and you're just like, holy crap, this game is going to be great and awesome. So I had that happen really early on when I got into the Dota 2 beta. I actually got the opportunity, if you would call it, to play against Dendi. It was fantastic. So Dendi was on the other team, and I was like, well, I want to land against Dendi, so I picked Invoker, just because, Dendi goes mid, so he'll go mid too. And Dendi picks Pudge, of course. So we go into the lane, and holy cow, words cannot describe the feeling when playing against Dendi's Pudge. Like, you think you have nightmares about certain things at night, let me tell you, you're going to have nightmares about Pudge hooks just destroying you, like, from the inside when you're sleeping at night. Like, all of a sudden you just, like, look around the corner, there's, like, a hook in your face. Holy cow, Dendi is probably the best Pudge player in the world, and it really shows. Like, when you guys play a pub and, Pudge is picked because he's picked every single game, sure, Pudge hooks are scary at times, but you usually have some idea that they're coming. Dendi doesn't let you know that he's even on the map. Like, I swear he has a superpower where it's just like, oh, Pudge is dead, but somehow he still threw a hook at me. That's how it feels when you're playing against Dendi. So, it was awesome to be able to play against Dendi and play against Dendi's Pudge, but it was a difficult game. I don't want to spoil the results because, whatever. I don't want to spoil the results of that game because that's not really important at all. So, I just wanted to tell you guys a story that Dendi's Pudge is awesome. So, what I decided to do is, today, we're going to focus on Dendi's Pudge. Just because it was nice yesterday to be able to focus on an entire game through and through, but there was a lot of information that you miss out on. A lot of little things that happen in the game that happen just with individual people when they're playing in the lane. Like, their individual decision making, which just is natural to them, may not be natural to you, and it takes years of practice to get all of that down, and to be able to actually see what's going on inside of a game, like, for a single player, is huge. So I want to focus today on a specific hero by somebody who plays the hero really, really well. So, for example, another time maybe like Admiral Bulldog's Lone Druid or something like that. A hero that a pro player is very well known for. So, yeah, today is going to be Dendi's Pudge. I'll have the 2 match IDs in the YouTube channel at the end. I can also show them to you, but let's go ahead and just get into the games. I'll explain what's going on, and we can just go from there and enjoy Dendi and his Pudge. Wham! Alrighty, so here's the first game. Match ID is up there in the corner. This is just a normal pub game with Dendi, so let's get into it. Hey, how fitting, right? So I do have the free-to-play pack, and guys, the free-to-play pack is awesome. If you haven't seen free-to-play yet, which I imagine most of you do, watch it. It's fantastic. It's really good to show people that know you play this game called Dota all of the time, or you play this game called Dota, but they don't really understand what's going on or why you play it so much. It's really good just to see from the perspective of Dendi, Fear, and HYHY how it influences their entire life and how much they have to sacrifice for it. Your family, your friends who don't know the game as well will have newfound respect for you. But anyway, the Dendi Pudge set looks awesome. So, yeah. Let's get back into the game. Cool. Alright, let's skip ahead. Everyone's loading. Okay, alright. And we've got loaded. Let's skip ahead a little more. Skip ahead. Done. And everybody picked. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're actually going to focus on Mr. Dondo here, which is Dendi. We're going to focus on him throughout the game, just to get a feel for what he's doing. So, go ahead and bump it up to regular speed first. Alright. So, some things I want to talk about is items he picks and how Dendi is able to control the lane. So, generally, melee heroes are a lot harder to control a lane than a ranged hero. Wait, hold on a second. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go. Alright, so generally, melee heroes are harder to control against ranged heroes in lane. So, possible opportunities for heroes that Dendi's going to play against in this lane. He could play against the Clockwork. He could be playing against the Ember Spirit. Or he could be playing against the Tusk. Sorry. The Tusk, the Ember Spirit, or the Clockwork. And against a Pudge, a Clockwork is going to be a very, very, very good hero to pick. So, oh yeah, let's go into Dendi's items. So Dendi, as Pudge, he plays Pudge a lot differently than other people. Actually, here, let me pause it just a second. I want to explain a little bit about how Dendi plays Pudge and why it works out so well. So, Dendi does a lot of things playing Pudge that you probably don't see in your average game. And I haven't seen any other Pudge player play like Dendi does. So Dendi, what he will do is he will get a lot of consumables. I've seen him buy 3 salves, a set of tangos, and all of this all in one game, just because Pudge's rot hurts himself. So he gets a lot of health regen. He'll also get a bottle because he's mid lane, and bottles are, really, really good. Pretty much every time you go mid, you should get a bottle. There are exceptions, but a bottle is really good mid, and also really good in other lanes too, especially if you're roaming. Anywho, so Dendi will pick up a lot of consumables, and he will also prioritize items differently. So Dendi, his normal item build is he will get bottle first, and then he will get boots of speed, and then he will work his way towards an urn. So as soon as he gets those boots of speed, he can go and he can kill anywhere. But the thing is, right after the boots of speed and before he gets the urn, he gets more consumables. As soon as he gets the boots of speed, he will finish his wand, buy a smoke, buy some wards, and just dominate the map. He will always buy wards. He will buy that first set of wards not the first set, but the set that comes right after that set. So he will buy the very first available set after the game starts, and he will put them. He usually puts one in the mid position, and then he'll put one somewhere else where he can try to get an advantage. Like, he puts them in very aggressive spots because he's roaming, he's ganking, he's going for kills, he's getting smokes, so nobody knows where he's at, and he can get wards in places that supports normally can't get them in the early game without sacrificing a lot or potentially dying. So he gets a lot of consumables. He actually buys the wards, buys the smokes, TP scrolls, obviously, and he will just... Pudge doesn't really need items. Let's be honest here. He doesn't really need items to be very effective. But the items he can get, like the smokes and the observer wards, are what he does need more than anything else. I mean, who cares if you have your extra earn charge, a minute earlier if you can't get that kill, right? So the smokes and the wards help him get the kills early on, helps him snowball, and then it's Dendi's Pudge. Alright, let's go into the game. I promise this time, guys. Alright, so Dendi has a salve, a tango, gauntlets, and 3 branches. The 3 branches will be used for the wand, most likely, that I was talking about, and the gauntlet will be used for an urn. He sometimes gets a stout shield, just because. Alright, so notice how Dendi's Pudge uses Rot to control the lane. So what he can do is, Rot has no cast point whatsoever. So he can actually cast it while he's attacking. And when you see him move and attack, he's doing both at the same time. So he's able to effectively get a lot more right-click damage than you would expect from any mid-hero. He's able... This lets him just secure his last hits more easily, and also why he buys a lot of consumables, because he's using his health to get last hits. I mean, he's already down 250 hit points. You look at the clockwork, he's barely down anything. So Dendi is not looking for kills right now. He is not looking for kills. If they happen, they happen. But a level 2 clockwork is much more dangerous than a level 2 Pudge. Pudge's Rot will hurt himself just as much as clockwork, and clockwork's battery assault will win, flat out. You do not want to be stuck in the cogs as Pudge right now. Later on, yeah, maybe, as long as battery assault's not going on. But for now, you just want to have a nice, safe last hits, get some levels up. You want to get at least level 3 before you really want to think about getting any kills on Pudge. The level 2 hook is super, super important, because you go from having a 700 range to a 900 range on it, and it does actually damage from 90 to 180. That's only if it's opportunistic. Also, if you look, he's got 600 gold already, 7 last hits, 3 denies. So he's able to afford his bottle soon. And once he gets his bottle, he can just throw hooks just to scare his opponent. He doesn't necessarily think he's going to get kills with it, but he will throw hooks to scare his opponent. Now, he also, if you look, he's using Rot constantly. Every single last hit, he's just Rot, Rot, Rot. Oh, he did not use Rot there. Didn't get the last hit. It might be a coincidence, but still. He's able to control the lane with his Rot. Clockwork doesn't want to stand in that Rot all day. Dendi has already used all 4 tangos. So, and this is really cool what Dendi does. So, normally you'd want to just instinctively run back to your tower. But Dendi actually gets the 2 range creeps, or the 2 creeps stuck in there. He's able to get first blood because he's not taking all the battery assault hits, and he just rots and hooks. The hook does 180 pure damage, so there's nothing that can resist that. Dendi fills up his bottle. He uses 2 bottle charges. Dendi and most other heroes, we do that. Alright, so, gotta go back a bit, sorry. About the courier, so in pro games, whenever somebody's bottle crowing and they get the bottle before 3 minutes, they will drink 2 sips of the bottle and then send it back, so the courier's not slower. And then after they're flying, they generally drink all 3. Dendi's no exception. That's just what most of the pro players do when they're actually getting the bottle. So he drinks 2 sips, sends it on back home. And then he's going to be able to pick up his Boots of Speed and his Magic Wand. So every time that courier comes back, it has better items. Another reason why having the courier mid is so incredibly important. You need to have that your health coming back up from the bottle and your mana as well. It asserts your lane dominance. And also, boots of speed are more important in mid than any other lane, unless you're like offlane solo trying to do something at level 1. Pardon me. Having those boots of speed mid just lets you win the lane. You can punish the other player for getting out of step if they don't have boots of speed and you do have boots of speed. It's huge. Like the head-to-head matchup that is mid, just like bam, mid. It really relies on having more move speed and more burst damage than your opponent. Those are the two main things in order to be like a dominating mid as a hero. So he has a burst damage between Meat Hook and Rot. Rot's not really burst, but it slows the enemy down. On top of him having his boots of speed, he's able to catch up to anybody and stay with them as long as he wants. He doesn't want to jump into the tower, obviously, but he is able to just maintain that dominance. Alright, back into the game. So let's go ahead and back up just a little bit. We can see what happened to Ember Spirit here. Alright, and play. So he got his first blood. We just went back to right after he got first blood against Clockwork. So Ember Spirit goes in the lane. He's at half health. He has Stout Shield, no regen. And what Dendi's able to do is he has full health. Like, there shouldn't be a reason why an Ember Spirit's right here, but just one simple hook. A lot of people might think, oh, I don't need to throw that hook, but that hook is super safe. So it was really important for him to, yeah. So Dendi thought about buying a salve here, but he ended up buying a Smoke of Deceit, Boots of Speed, Magic Wand. So the courier has 6 items for him. He has a TP scroll, always important for mid, especially once you hit level 6. Any mid, it's important once you hit 6. So it looks like they've actually switched up lanes. Ember Spirit, who is level 3, is against a level 6 Pudge 3.5 minutes into the game. It's already looking pretty bad for the other team. Keep in mind, this is just a pub game, so it's not like, you know, a pro level game or anything like that. Dendi here, there's an Invis rune on the Phoenix. So what Dendi does right here is he's just trying to run away. I mean, there's actually just nothing else to do. He's going to try and deny himself if he needs to, but he's actually able to get away because he has, oh my gosh, 1,000 hit points already. Like, 1,000 hit points. 1,000 hit points. The most anybody else has is like 600. So he's able to survive that because of that, and he just uses a smoke. He immediately turns around and uses a smoke. Now, most people wouldn't do that. Like, they wouldn't think, oh, I can go in the aggressive with 200 hit points. But Hook does 360 pure damage. Dismember lasts 3 seconds for 75 damage. And on top of the Rot, as long as he doesn't hurt himself with 200 damage, he will be able to get a kill. Like, it's, of course, a risk at 200 hit points to do this. But he's able to try to get a kill that way. His smoke runs out. He's at 260 hit points, so he's not going to be able to do much more right now. He may Bottle Crow, but even then, he has so many hit points that he wouldn't be able to do anything. Just throw one last hook, get a last hit or something like that, and then go back to base. Or, you know, miss the last hook, which, you know, missing last hooks happens to everybody. Just remember, you miss 100% of the hooks you don't throw. Alright, so Dendi's going to go back to base. Ember Spirit's going to be able to get a little bit of farm, but what Dendi does is he buys a second Gauntlet of Strength and an Observer Ward. So he is going for the urn here, but he does buy that Observer Ward. So he's already purchased, let's take account of the consumables that he's already purchased. He already has one Self, one set of Tangos, one pack of Observer Wards, and a Smoke 5 minutes into the game. So he's already bought, like, you know, 500 gold worth of consumables, 600 gold worth of consumables 5 minutes in the game, on top of having boots, magic wand, half an urn, and a bottle. But he will purchase those consumables before he'll actually go for anything else, which is really cool to see. I would love to see that in pub games. So if I ever play a pub game with you, and you're like a mid and you buy Observer Wards, I'll love you forever. Cool. So Dendi, just refilling with the bottle. He actually TP's back when he's at like 80% health, and the fountain will just fill him up. You get like 2 seconds of fountain time after TPing to a base. So your bottle will actually refill. You can drink an extra bottle charge if you want, and it'll refill itself. You can actually pick up an empty bottle and it'll refill itself. But right now he's just fishing for hooks. Like, the ideal time for him to hook is right as a creep is dying. So he's able to get the kill there. So the reason why he goes right as a creep is dying is because anybody, when they are going for a creep kill, they're focusing on that last hit. So if he goes right during that last hit, you will be in your attack animation, you can't move, and you're not going to focus on anything else. Like, you're just worried about that last hit. So it's the best time to hook somebody is when an allied or an enemy creep dies. So it's like the rune is illusion bottom, but it doesn't really matter. So Dendi put one ward right here, and he's actually just walking into the enemy jungle right now, so it doesn't really matter. He has 1157 hit points, 3 kills, 22 last hits, and he just... Those hooks. Like, who expects a hook to become from the high ground behind your tier 1? Nobody. Like, he didn't see him up there at all. Those are the kind of hooks that Dendi does that you don't normally see. So, Dendi gets another kill. He has a lane dominance now. He is doing very, very well for himself. Like, this is Dendi's Pudge in a pub match. Not to say that it's, it don't take anything away from, Dendi or Pudge matches, but he's doing well this game. He's level 9, 7 minutes in, and he almost got the clockwork. If he would have gotten a kill from it, probably. He didn't have enough mana for Dismember, but that's okay. So he's able to just walk around. He got his urn. He actually flew himself out at Clarity as well. So this Clarity keeps him in lane. He doesn't have to go back and heal or anything like that. And he has yet another smoke. So he bought 2 smokes, a Clarity, Observer Ward, Salve, Tango, TP Scroll. Just like so many consumables. But it keeps paying off for him. So he's just, as always, he's waiting for hooks. Pudge doesn't need farm like other heroes. He wants kills. Kills help him in more ways than most other heroes. So he has Flesh Heap, which gives him up to 2.5 strength per kill. So once he starts leveling that, he's going to see a huge jump in his strength because he already has 4 kills. That's another reason why Pudge snowballs so hard, is that he just gets so much strength. And he has 3.2 strength gain per level, and he starts out at a pretty respectable number of strength. So, like, his main weakness is his lack of armor, but that can be overcome with items or just by having more hit points. Because that's what Pudge usually does. So he smokes up behind the lines, and he's actually going for this kill right here. He doesn't know that they'll both be there. Immediately back... Oh no, he goes for the hook. So he's not in a good spot, obviously. But he will probably die here. He's able to get the suicide. He waited to the very last second to rock the suicide. And then he just puts his bottle in his stash. Picks up his Belt of Strength, probably going for Treads. Treads are actually a really good item on Pudge because Pudge can Tread switch to get more mana. So he can switch to Intelligence before he throws his hook and then switch back to Strength because he doesn't, like, Strength doesn't do as much for Pudge as it does for other heroes, really. Because he has such a high strength gain and Flesh Heap on top of it, he doesn't need that much more strength from items. But the ability to Tread Switch means that, in a pinch, he can get 8 intelligence worth of... So he gets like 100 more mana. 104? Something like that. So he gets that just immediately after switching his treads around, which is really good. So he leaves one observer in base because he has the one up on the high ground, and he's able to just sit back here. Dendi spends the game as Pudge just looking for hooks. That's the only thing he cares about, meat hook. So as you can see, this meat hook range is ridiculous. Like, everything, if it's on the screen, if you can see Pudge on your screen, you are in hook range. That gives you an idea of how big it is. So he's got the observer wards right back after he TP'd in. So he used the crow just to fly out an observer. Finds a tusk by himself, probably a dead tusk. Oh, haste rune, but he has help from 2 of his allies. See, he only has to use the dismember. That's one thing that a lot of people don't do. Is it takes a lot of game sense, but normally people would have tried to throw that hook no matter what. But a missed hook would have completely missed the kill because they would have been spread out. But just using Dismember on him, good to go, and you don't burn that extra 140 mana. So he's just roaming the jungle, trying to look for somebody. Came really close to finding the Medusa. But now he's just waiting here. There's actually a Dire Observer ward here, but see what Dendi does. So he just sits on high grounds, sits in corners, and just looks for kills. Like, you don't expect heroes to generally be in those spots. That's what makes it so powerful, is that he takes such a risk. I've seen Dendi go all the way down. He'll be like right here when the enemy tier 1 is alive, when he's on the Dire side as Pudge, and he will just get hooks, and you're just like, he is a wizard, because he's just, you assume Dendi is everywhere on the map at any point in time. And that's actually a sign of a really good Pudge, is if you can instill the fear of being everywhere on the map at any time. Obviously he's going to go down here, but there's a kill for the Dire side. Dendi's down again. He actually did not get his rod off because there were 4 heroes around him. Much needed kill for Dire, but I have seen Dendi. So Dendi's, some of his favorite spots to hook is, he obviously loves to hook up here. He loves to go right here if he's on Dire side to hook. He will also go right here, just on either side actually, and especially I've seen him play a lot on Dire side. So like back here is a really good spot for a Pudge if you're on the Dire side, because the enemy mid does not expect you behind their tier 1, and if you can get there and you won't get hit by the tower, and you can actually hook once you have the creep range right there. So those are some of the popular places, and then of course the normal places like up here. Just, it's a hook. So Dendi's goal right now is just get more kills, get more kills. A lot of times I see Pudges, they will get their lot of kills early on, and then they will fall off. Dendi doesn't do that as much, or like pretty much at all compared to other players, but Pudge as a hero, his effectiveness falls off from a ganking perspective once you get farther into the game. So you have to transition more into like using multiple people for ganks, using whole teams for ganks, not just going, you know, YOLO. YOLO! No, you don't just go in and be like, I can take them. Like, he's going here, he's got an Invoker here, and Medusa's somewhere, he doesn't know where, but he's just patiently waiting. They actually have an Observer ward right here, and an Observer ward right here. So, like, their jungle is no longer safe. And Invoker finds them, Pudge hooks, Medusa's dead. So he's just going to wait 5 seconds for this next one, and then he'll probably be able to hook the Phoenix. He'll just dismember it for the time being. And then he'll hook immediately after. Phoenix might be able to use an ult. Nope, he did not hook immediately after. So it was too much of a risk. They thought too many people were coming, but turns out it wasn't that bad. Dendi's patience with hooks are... It's just amazing how patient he is. Like, he will wait for a minute just to get the right hook. In fact, Puppy has said that he doesn't want Dendi to play Mirana because that's all he will do. He'll play Mirana like a Pudge. He'll just wait for the arrow and shoot the arrow. Like, he won't get any farm whatsoever. The difference is Pudge doesn't need the farm. He scales so much better with kills than any other hero aside from like Silencer. But yeah, it just, yeah. So you're able to get away with it with Pudge, where you're not able to get away with it with Mirana. Mirana can get the kills, but she won't be able to get the farm, and Mirana needs farm to stay relevant later on. So Dendi gets an Invis room. It means he can stay behind the tier 1. He can just walk here and, you know, kill whenever he wants to. But he's looking for the Medusa. Like, he wants to make sure that Medusa does not get farm, and he has Invis room, so he can kill whoever he wants. He wants to make sure this Medusa gets nothing whatsoever. It's like she knows. And wait for it. Look, I personally would have thrown like 2 hooks by now, but he just waits for the optimal time, just kills. So very patient. Fisherman Dendi is quite the patient player. That's what makes his Pudge so good, is that he doesn't just go for a hook. He goes for a hook that will kill. Like, he makes sure that his hook was done. And what is he doing right now? He's just going away to TP. So one thing you should do when you TP is always be out of enemy vision. I know you always want to TP sooner, but even in a situation like that where it looks safe, TP. So Dendi, another kill. Yeah. He's just able to keep on going. So like, I guess we can just speed this up a little bit from here on out. It's pretty one-sided. So Dendi goes. He's got a double damage rune. He got his blink dagger. Now things are really scary now. Get a Pudge with a blink dagger. Just go through. You know, he got another hook, another kill. I think you guys get the idea of what's going on. So he's just getting kills. Like, yeah, I know I'm skipping through a lot of this. I mean, it's cool to watch Dendi get hooks everywhere, but I want to show you guys another replay as well with Dendi, where he actually does this in a pro match, and see the differences between him playing in a pub and him playing in an actual game, an actual professional game. Like, the game has to be played differently, just because of the sheer fact that it's a lot harder to win a lane. He blinks, dismembers. Like, this game is looking pretty well over. He's able to keep the pressure going, which is a key to Pudge. Like, if you slow down the pressure, you can fall behind. Even if you have 10 kills and no deaths, like, you can fall behind if you just don't get kills. So like, he's getting kills like every 30 seconds. Like, he just keeps going, keeps getting kills. Like he's just he's not gonna die. Like, just doesn't really die. Wait for it, and then. So now they've overcommitted. They have 4 heroes. One thing is, don't chase for kills. They're able to get another kill. Maybe, nope, Phoenix teleported out. But Dendi is always looking for these runes. Always looking for the runes. Always the runes. So whenever you have a bottle, you should always pay attention to the even minute marker. Every even minute marker, a rune comes up. I mean, you know, 135. You're looking at like 500 health and 210 mana every time you find a rune. Like, that's like a free trick. Okay, so this is awesome. You've got to check this out. See, player perspective. So this is Dendi's player perspective. He picks up the double damage rune. He sees that Medusa's down here, and if you look, you can actually see where the fog is at. She goes, gets her last hit. She's now in the fog. Like, you cannot see her at all. And this is where game sense and experience come into play more so than any other time. Like, this stuff you cannot just learn. You have to just get a feel for it. So Dendi is like, okay, she's in the fog. She has phase boots or tranquil boots. So, you know, she's moving at not too fast of a speed. The tranquil boots are broken because she just attacked. And these are the calculations that pro players do in their head without even thinking about it. Like, they're not thinking about, oh, you know, this angle, that angle, whatever, you know. They're not using advanced linear algebra and 3D math just to figure this out. All they're doing is they are saying, hey, this is what I know. Okay, I'm going to do it. So they do it. I mean, like, they don't know necessarily all the math behind everything, like, you know, all the angles and everything. There's this really, yeah. Anyway, let's get back into it. Watch this. So Medusa is not seen at all. So she's not seen right now at all. We hit play again. He goes, he hooks, doesn't even see her. Just look at this. So he goes, we're going to actually slow it down to give you an idea. So it's down to half speed. So doesn't see her. One, like for 2 seconds, hooks in the dark, nails it. So that's the kind of thing that just can't be taught. Like, that stuff you just get a feel for. And also it's part of the whole taking hooks, like, all of the time. And so Dendi's able to just go on, clear out. He's always wandering where he thinks enemy heroes will be, and just killing. He actually managed to get an urn charge on Tusk, so he might die. Maybe. It doesn't look like it, though. Just look at that. So many hit points. Like, Dendi has so much health that he just doesn't die. You just look, he has 2,600 hit points. 2,600 hit points. Like, it's crazy. At 2,600 hit points with just an urn and tread. See, he was actually tread switching to get that hook. But from here, he's just able to keep the pressure up. Like, he's going one step ahead of the enemy every single time. Like, he is going into the enemy jungle when the tier 1's still alive. He's going at the enemy base when they have to. So, yeah, they're talking, you know. Good game, well played. I mean, we have Dendi. It's not exactly fair. Well, I mean, yeah. If only people thought that every time that Dendi played a game, I'm sure. And I'm sure Dendi's win rate would be a lot higher. But pubs are hard, guys. Pubs are hard. Like, yeah, just pub games in general are very, very hard for people. And as you get to understand the game more, it becomes even harder because if you play at a specific level and then you play a pub game at a different level, some of the things you just take for granted that your allies will do, they no longer are doing. So, yeah. Dendi gets an Assault Cuirass to get some armor up for his 2,600 hit points, so nothing can kill him, instead of just, you know, only physical damage being able to hurt him. He's getting an AC. It'll help them push and get them to kill. I've not seen many Assault Cuirasses on Pudges. Usually that doesn't happen. They usually go Blink, Force Staff, Urn, Heart, some weird stuff like that, but armor's really good on him. Blade Mail is also a good choice because he has so many hit points that other people will just die. Now, Dendi has no mana. Look around, see if anybody has mana boots. 19 seconds. So, like, it looks like there's one set of mana boots that has 19 seconds. So he will just go get some farm done. Like, there's not too much he can do now. He has 400 hit points, which is, you know, strikingly close to Rubik's max hit points, but that's okay. Yeah, so he's just getting farm. He's farming up. Finished off his Assault Cuirass and is going back to base. Picks up another smoke. So, the reason why he picks up smokes when he goes back to base is because you can't TP twice in a row. So what he'll do is he'll smoke and then buy a TP. That 60-second cooldown on TP makes it not good. And then smoke also increases your move speed by a pretty good amount. He's up to 385 now. I don't know how much it is. It's like 10%. But he's invisible and he moves faster. And he can still use spells, so... It may not seem like 100 gold is worth 10% move speed, but it is. It definitely is. Like, 100 gold is like 2 creep kills, a third of a hero kill, a quarter of a hero kill, that even. So, like, if you can get there fast enough to get any advantage whatsoever, it's totally worth it. And also, he's rolling in money. Like, he is just so rich. Just like his like gold per minute on a Pudge, 475. It's huge. So, anyway, let's go ahead and just pick it up because I know people like to see the end of games, but we'll just go ahead and Dendi's getting hooks, getting kills. If you guys want to watch this game, feel free. Just when you go and search for recent games, just type in the game ID and you can watch it. So that's all you got to do. Okay. Base is dying, heroes are dying, you know, no biggie. So Dendi's a nice and well-mannered guy. Usually, a lot of times you see, you know, them fountain diving like that. Well, Dendi goes in a little bit, but he doesn't actually hook from the fountain. He can just camp the fountain. That's just rude. But at the end of the game, Dendi has 3,500 hit points. He has 3,500 hit points. And he has no strength items aside from an urn and treads. So, Pudge gets kills, pressures game, wins game. Cool. Alright, so that was a nice little pub game that I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, nice and fun. Okay, let's hop into game number 2 now. Game number 2 is actually a game of Na'Vi versus Cloud9. So, Let me go ahead and pull up this game real quick. Recent game. Bam. Okay. Ooh, man. Oh, all right, so here we go. We've got the game from the Dota 2 Champions League. This game happened February 23rd, so it's not incredibly recent, but it's still recent enough. Like, it's only a few weeks old. So just a month ago, actually, exactly a month. Hey, what do you know? Today's March 23rd, 2014. All right, so let's get into this game. I want to do a little bit of analysis as to why Navi picked Pudge and how they got away with the Pudge pick, because usually it's like, oh, we can't pick Pudge, we can't pick Pudge, we can't pick Pudge. Fnatic has the same thing with like No Tails Meepo. Like, there are only certain situations that you can just say, hey, we can pick this hero and we'll win. Like, that's why when you see Dendi pick Pudge, they're probably going to win, is because they know the situation, they know the circumstances that they can just win, like, every time. So they only pick Pudge when they have a good feel for the game, and you know, probably when Denny's jumping up and down in his seat, being like, Pudge, 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 Pudge. You know, I'm Pudge. First week. Stuff like that. So I can imagine Denny would probably be doing that, just saying like, hey, pick me my Pudge, and the game will go good. You know that feeling, like when you're in captures mode and someone's like, hey, what hero should we pick? And you're just like, well, give me my hero and we'll win the game. You know, give me my Invoker, give me my Luna, give me my Meepo, give me my, I don't know, whatever hero you like to play. You know, give me my hero and we'll win the game. Hey, people are a lot better at heroes that they played a lot. Just saying, like, people play better games with heroes they've played more. Even though it may not be the 100% perfect hero to pick, you know, oh, in a pro game, you know, I saw Visage picked all the time. Well, most players can't play Visage well. So you really have to take that in mind. Reserve time. So here, just go through the regular draft. The beginning of the draft, it really doesn't have too much going on. We're just picking, you know. Actually, we can probably skip ahead. So here we've got Luna, Storm Spirit for Cloud9. Navi has Earthshaker as far as disables goes, and Ancient Apparition with a follow-up. Can't really be a reliable stun, but it's good. Ancient Apparition is fantastic right now in the pro scene. Like, just, he contributes so much the entire game. So this is where you can really start to see that why Navi picked up the Pudge. So if you look, Cloud9, look at their heroes. They've got Luna, squishy, like probably one of the fewest hit points on any carry that I can think of. Like, she has like 430 starting hit points, or 470. So like, she's super squishy. Storm Spirit is really easy to kill once you can disable him, and Navi needs more disables. They have Earthshaker, and that's pretty much it. So Cloud9 recognized this, and they actually banned the Magnus, because they're like, oh, if they have the teamfight disable, then they'll win. You know, Magnus plus Earthshaker, they'll win the teamfights every time. So Navi takes it a step further and says, hey, you're right, we do need disables, but there's also a lot of food on the plate for Pudge, which means Pudge can freely go around the map. Like, there's not going to be any real, like, global presence to screw him up. There's no Wisp. There's no Nature's Prophet on the enemy team. There's actually a Nature's Prophet on Navi's team, which helps him out a lot, because he can just ult or he can TP in. Ancient Apparition also has that too. So, like, the global presence on top of Pudge roaming means that they have essentially 3 heroes anywhere on the map. And Pudge also will be able to create space for anti-match. Like, I mean, Havost doesn't really, as much as other carries, doesn't need as much space, but it's always good to have more space, right? So Havost is able to have the space he needs. Pudge is able to roam freely. Everybody's squishy. Axe is the least squishy of the bunch, but still, even then, like, he's not the strongest guy, or he's not going to have the disables to stop Pudge. Like, he has a call. So generally, you'll be able to roam a lot as a Pudge in this. So one last thing is that they actually Cloud9 picks up a Dazzle as their 5th one, which is a really smart idea. I just played a game today, actually. Yeah, it was just today where I played a Dazzle on my team versus Pudge. I wanted to play Pudge because I was going to talk about Pudge today, but the enemy team picked him, so I was like, oh, we have, a few carries. Probably need a support here. Need a support for our game. So I picked up Dazzle, and it actually turned out to be a really good idea to pick up Dazzle. We unfortunately didn't end up winning the game, but Dazzle has a mini stun at the beginning of his poison touch, and then there's also a stun at the end once it's level 4. So you could stop Pudge's ult, and you can shallow grave because Pudge can only kill one person at a time. Like, he only picks off one person at a time. So if you're able to shallow grave them, then it nullifies it. And then Dazzle's just a good pick in general. The minus armor and the heal lets you push towers and keep your carry alive early on. So that was a really smart pickup by Cloud9. Alright, let's get into this game. I'm rambling on quite a bit here. Last episode was an hour and 40 minutes long. I want to try and keep it a little bit less than that. It's always good to, keep it a little under that. Free camera. Okay, let's... Okay, now they're off. Alright, so Dendi is playing against a Storm Spirit mid, which normally would be a really bad matchup. He actually picks up the exact same items as last time. So Navi has a really, really good level 1 lineup right now. Ancient Apparition's Chilling Touch is probably, in my opinion, the best level 1 spell in the game for teamfight versus teamfight. 50 damage for 3 attacks on each of the heroes that you cast on. Oh, whoa! Forgot. So this was actually, believe it or not, a smart thing by Puppy. So he thinks they're doing Roche, which they actually are. He goes in there and he sacrifices his life. Almost gives Dazzle, but the Dazzle heal is too strong. But this is still good for Navi because they use like so many consumables. Like, everyone's almost dead and they don't get the Roche kill. So like, people are going to miss out on the lanes. Like, sure, Sing Sing got 400 gold, but that's okay. Dendi is gonna go back. He's gonna go mid. And we're going to see an aggressive tri-lane with Havost, Ancient Apparition, and Earthshaker. And then solo safe lane, Nature's Prophet, which we already know is a good thing. So Dendi is doing some really cool things here in order to get the creep aggro. So you have, whenever you attack a creep, you have a 500 area radius. You have a 500 radius around you. When you attack a hero, sorry. Whenever you attack click a hero, or right click on a hero, you have a 500 radius around you where any enemy creeps in that area will attack you. Now you can get rid of that by attack clicking an allied creep or an ally of some form. But you have a 500 area around you where you draw the creeps towards you, and you can use that to your advantage in 2 different ways. So first off, you can actually... It only triggers every, like, 3 seconds. At most, every 3 seconds. So what you can do is you can actually stand 600 away from a hero, click on the hero, and then you won't draw aggro for those 2 or 3 seconds until you... when you're attacking. So you're immune to pulling the aggro again for 2 seconds. You can actually skirt outside of the range, and you can attack without pulling creep aggro towards you. It's really cool. I suggest you guys try it. It's super important for mid and super important for supports, because supports can harass the enemy hero out of the lane without pulling creep aggro. If you pull creep aggro as a support, it's really bad for the lane. It pushes the lane out. You get hurt. Like, you could die because of it. It's really bad, so you want to skirt outside of that range, attack, walk into the range, and then you'll hit them, and then you make sure to immediately click on something else. Just click on the ground, whatever. Just stop the attack click on the enemy hero. But Dendi uses us to his advantage, because generally you're going to see a Pudge against a Storm Spirit. You're like, okay, Storm Spirit has a range. He's going to be really good. Well, fortunately for Pudge, Storm can't really get that many kills before level 6 as much as other mids can. He definitely can get kills, but until he gets his ultimate, it's a lot harder for Storm Spirit to pop in and out, and he has to be close range to do most of his damage. So Pudge is pretty safe against the Storm Spirit really early on in the game, and he's able to exploit the pulling of creep aggro, not for any other sake than pulling the enemy creeps closer to him. So he wants to try and get one of the creeps. His goal is to get the creeps away from the creep line. So he wants to pull all of the enemy creeps to his own range creep. That way he can safely get last hits, even though he's a melee hero against a ranged hero. It's really cool. We can go ahead and check it out. But you can actually see while he's playing that most of his clicks are just like enemy hero clicks. He's trying to get his creep wave back. See, he's pulling his creep wave back. He just keeps pulling it back like that. So this does two things. It actually forces Sing Sing to take some damage from the creeps because he's getting aggro as well. And then Dendi's able to get creeps like way up here where he can safely get last hits. Like, he doesn't have any last hits yet, but I mean, it's just the very beginning of the game. But he's able to pull a creep all the way up to his range creep, and this guy too. Like, he's able to get this last hit just because he pulled the creep all the way up. Sing Sing's gonna try and deny it, but he's actually just gonna get the range creep last hit. So Dendi uses his rot to get the couple last kills on those creeps. So he's actually able to get farm against a ranged Storm Spirit without a stout shield, which is really cool. He's using consumables, but that's what they're for. Yeah, so he's able to get farm in a lane. Most people would be like, oh, I'm Pudge, I don't need farm. Well, always get farm if you can, and why not, right? So he's going to turn around and try and get the hit, but Sing Sing also does the same thing. And Sing Sing knows he can be pretty aggressive like that as long as he doesn't pull tower aggro. The tower follows the same rule as the creeps that I was talking about, the 500 range thing. It won't aggro you if you've already attack clicked within that last time. So Dendi's taking a lot of harassment from the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit is actually going to max out Overload, or get a lot of points in Overload first, just so he can get that range damage, because he's not going to be able to really get a kill early with Electric Vortex against Dendi. That extra time being close to him isn't really going to help him too much. But Dendi used his meat hook to get a single last hit there, which is really good because the gold is the gold. I mean, like, whatever. It costs some mana, but if you're not going to get a kill in the very near future, that mana is totally worth it to get the 50 gold for a creep. So he's able to actually keep the lane up here, which is where you want to keep it. You want to keep it right on the high ground up here, which is the best spot. But he's able to just keep the creep wave close. Like, he even got through the 3 creeps right here to come in, and he's able to deny the creep, and he's trying to keep the creeps away from the tower as much as he can without getting too hurt. And if he does get hurt, he wants to get the last hits. So he's getting all of the last hits under the tower. And he even used his meat hook on that last one, because he's got a flying courier now. So he's got a flying courier. He's going to drink all 3 of them, send it back to base, charging. So this speed burst actually pretty much negates the whole movement speed decrease from a bottle, 30% slower. So it pretty much negates that. Dendi just jumped on. He even took all of what Sing Sing could do right there with 2 overloads, which does 70 damage each. So he took a lot of damage, but he still has half hit points. So he's not too afraid of a Storm Spirit, at least until he hits level 6. Once he hits level 6, it's gonna be a bit harder. He's actually able to get the same amount of CS as Storm Spirit. Oh man, that was really close. So he tried to wait until Sing Sing was busy attacking creeps and then hit him, but he just missed. Dendi has as 18-3 versus 21-6 for the Storm Spirit. So he's getting almost an equal number of last hits. But he's able to bottle crow to stay in lane. Yeah. That's super important for a mid hero. Oh, we've got an Axe with haste coming in. He's gonna try and get the kill. If Dendi could hit that hook right there, see, the way Sing Sing did that is he actually stood behind the creep right here, and that just completely blocked the hook, because if Dendi would have gotten that hook, it would have hooked Sing Sing back and he would have stayed in Ancient Apparition's range, and he would not have been able to get, like, he would not have survived that at all. So he's just trying to go for hooks. Like, he's not expecting to get all of them, but if you notice, they're all really, really close. If he gets one hook, he gets a kill. Like, that's the game with Pudge. You get hook, you get win. Like, it's just like Marana. You shoot arrow, you hit arrow, you win game. So he's been staying in the lane this entire time, nothing else. And just like other heroes, the minute he hits level 6, he buys items. He finishes out his magic wand. He gets a TP scroll and he gets a smoke. Level 6 is huge for mid heroes. So that means he's ready to go around the entire map. He's level 6. He's ready to go. Now some mid heroes don't do that as much, like a Dragon Knight, or an Invoker should still have a TP scroll, but he likes to get farm a lot more usually. Some heroes don't need farm as much, like Queen of Pain. If you don't have a TP scroll, then you need to reconsider and buy a TP scroll. But Dendi is ready to move around the map. He's going to be able to pick up his items. He's probably just gonna like finish out this creep wave, and then he's just gonna smoke up under his tower. So he's able to actually get the same amount of experience as Sing Sing, and just get a completely equal amount of farm. But the thing is, an equally farmed Storm Spirit is going to beat out an equally farmed Pudge late game. So Pudge has to move around. He has to create space for his team and get kills in order to take the advantage. So he's getting whatever farm he can, because, well, Sing Sing is not really stepping up to the lane. Sing Sing is scared like nobody's business. See? And rightly so, too. Fisher into hook is really good. And then you have Funnick here, too. Sing Sing is actually able to use all his mana and get away, which is why once Storm is level 6, if you don't gank him before 6, he's a lot harder to kill, and he's going to probably have a good game if he doesn't die by the time he's level 6. So he's able to just limp back to town and heal up. So yeah, Sing Sing Storm Spirit also TP scroll. He's looking to gank just as much, finish out his magic wand as well. Then he backs off. He's just waiting a little bit. Rubik is here. He's still looking for those hooks. Always hooks. Like, if you're not farming the creep wave, you're looking for hooks. Then here we go. So he smokes up behind the tower because he realizes he can't get a hook either. Havost is going to try and bait out Sing Sing into jumping in, and the minute the Sing Sing jumps in, Dendi will be ready. So that's their plan right now. Like, it's like, hey, let's get a kill down the bottom. But Sing Sing doesn't completely commit. He's going in now, so Dendi gets ready, and he just misses, because Sing Sing goes around. He actually gets greedy and goes for an extra creep kill when he probably shouldn't have. He probably should have known something was up when Havost was being so aggressive. But that's actually one really good sign. One really good thing about Havost is that he tends to be aggressive a lot, so it's hard to tell when you have allied heroes, or when he has allied heroes nearby. So you'll see that there are lots of bottle crowing. It's really, really, really good. Super important for the mid to make sure that they get it. Usually it's more important to get that bottle than most other items. Sentry wards do take priority, but as a support, I tend to not use the courier pretty much at all, unless I really need to, because it's not as important for my experience versus, the mid's experience or the carry's experience. So if the carry has to fly out their hand of Midas recipe, if the bottle, boots of speed, whatever, I just let them have it. Dendi has actually gone back to farming. He hasn't been able to get really anything done yet, so he's just continuing farming. He buys a second smoke. He has his urn finish. He has his magic wand finish. He didn't buy the observer wards. It's because, Puppy and Kuroki are the man. Collectively, the man. and Dendi knows he's getting his bottle back, so he's just going to use some rot. Drink up a bottle charge, probably wait for the 10-minute rune and then go out from there. Because once he has a smoke right now, but he's just going, he's just trying to, he's just looking for kills. Just kills. Like, he's trying to find angles. Like, look, all of the tier 1 towers are alive, and Dendi is still just chilling right up here. He's like almost at their tier 1. If he's able to get it, he will. So he finds an illusion rune up here, which is pretty much the worst rune you could possibly get for Pudge. Haste and Invis generally mean a free kill, like immediately for Pudge, because nobody can run away from a hasted Pudge, and Invis Pudge is scary, like super scary. So Dendi's just continuing to farm. He has a TP scroll just in case, and he has a smoke also to try and get kills. So I expect him to be doing something here real quick. It's just farming though. Here we go. So what he does is really cool here. So this is what Dendi does. Let's go ahead and pause it. So Dendi pops the illusion rune on the high ground, sends one illusion right here. He actually is microing this illusion while he just right clicks with his heroes down here. He wants to just make it look like he's still in lane. Like there was no gap in this whatsoever. Nothing that they would know to even keep it. Even this observer ward doesn't have vision. Like if we look, the observer ward had vision right to here, and he was way back here. He was back here. See, if we look when he popped the illusion rune, he goes right. Oh, yeah. So his illusions didn't even get seen by that. So he's able to just take his hero down, and it's actually just sitting. I mean, he's not doing as much, but it's like, okay, his Pudge is there. But he misses a lot of it, but he's able to come through and get a kill, save Kuroki's life, and he's just down here right now. So he didn't have to commit too much, and he got a kill. Like he was just able to use his illusion rune as, very smartly. And he's going to go up with Kuroki, give him a bottle charge, and that's enough for a Fisher, and he got his loot, or he got an Invis rune. So he's gonna go up here now. He got a hook on Dazzle. Okay, so he gets the kill there. So that used his smoke up, and now he's gonna be able to use his Invis rune to go for another kill. So as you can see, he's starting to make space. Like he wasn't able to do much early on, but he has 52. Last hits, 13 denies, and 2 kills 12 minutes into the game, which for a Pudge is great. Like, he was able to farm up a lot. He almost has a Blink Dagger, which is probably what he wants to go, because he's starting to make room, but he needs to make more. He's able to use his Invis rune and just go. He's hunting right now. Just like last game, he is hunting. So, in case you guys didn't know, Invis actually takes a second or so to kick in, so you can do any action you want to, and then you will turn invisible at a certain point, and if you do an action after you turn invisible, you'll break out of it. So that's why you're able to drink a bottle charge. You're actually able to TP after you pop an Invis rune, or do an attack even, or you cast a spell if you do it like within a second of it actually of it starting. So that's why you're able to drink a bottle charge. He's just looking for kills right now. He really, really, really wants this kill on Aoi again. He just killed him before, but now they're not able to get it. He's gonna go up here, and it looks like Havos got ganked, and they have like 3 people here, so it's too much for him. He's just gonna back off. Highlight Diet has anti-mage's blink, which is really good for him. Yeah, so this is not looking good. Kuroki with the Savior Echo Slam just destroys them. Whoa. So, that kind of precision is amazing. And that's why if you know somebody that can play Pudge, just let him play Pudge. Like, if they can do that kind of thing, that's amazing. Like, he was able to pick out, this Sing Sing who had a third of his hit points, just bam, bam, just yoinked him out of there and killed him. Like, needle nose precision there, just like threading the needle through, just like, I'm gonna get Sing Sing. So he's able to do that, and holy crap, that's why Dendi can play Pudge in pro games. Just check this out. Check this out. Like, he's going, Kuroki with his Hero Echo Slam brings Storm Spirit down to 30 of his hit points. Just dead. 360 pure damage is a lot of damage. And he didn't even have to use his all for it, so. So, Dendi gets another illusion rune. He can't complain because he's getting the runes. But he got his Blink Dagger, which is very, very, very important on his Pudge. 14-minute Blink Dagger with Urn and all those consumables. So his Pudge doesn't get items as quickly as other mid heroes do because he gets a lot of other items too. So it feels like, you know, a 14-minute Blink Dagger. You're like, oh, well, you know, I've seen Puck get a 9-minute Blink Dagger. Yes. Or Bat Rider get like an 8-minute Blink Dagger, which he can do. But Pudge getting a 14-minute Blink Dagger is the equivalent of that. Like, he has an Urn, he has Boots of Speed, he has a bottle, he has a magic wand. Like, he is rich. And keep in mind, this is Cloud9 playing. Like, Sing Sing is a very, very good mid. Amazing mid. Cloud9 as a whole has been on fire as far as their team goes. So like, this is not a slump match in any way, shape, or form. This is, you know, this is Navi bringing their A game against Cloud9's A game. So this is the power of the Blink. He's able to do that and just get there immediately. So the Fissure does two good things. It actually clears out the enemy creep wave, and it stuns them. So like, if we look at this, there's this enemy creep right there. It got killed. So, bam. Yeah. Fissure into Hook is a really good combo because Fissure is really hard to dodge. So, Dendi sees, oh, there's a tower that's going down. I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to pop my regen in. Blink, get Sing Sing. That's my goal. Another hero Echo Slam by Kuroki. On fire. But he's just looking for that kill on Aoi 2000. He's going to try and hook him. Nope, he did not try and hook. He didn't want to burn the hook for it. But Dendi cast the Urn Charge on him just to ensure the death afterwards. Kuroki is a hero this game. Funnick is also going crazy. Like, Funnick is everywhere on the map, and so is Kuroki. Props to them this game. Go back and check out. So, Dendi just kind of chills. But, as you can see, he sees the target, like, target acquired. Oh, axe is down. It's pretty much how to play. Target acquired. So he's able to save Puppy's life there, too, because he just blinked in and dismembered. Like, he didn't even bother with the hook. It's like, you know, disable him, kill him. So, Dendi is got the Boots of Travel. Boots of Travel on Pudge is really good. So, Pudge's main goal is to create no safe spots on the map. And with Boots of Travel, there is no safe spot on the entire map. He has Boots of Travel and Blink Dagger. There's nothing safe. Nobody's safe. And he has a haste turn too. Nothing is safe. So. So this Boots of Travel also gives him like 400 move speed, which is a huge benefit. So Boots of Travel give 100 move speed. 100 move speed. That's like having 2 boots of speed if you could actually stack them. See, arcane boots give 55. I don't think anyone has regular boots still. Treads give 50, so it's double the move speed bonus of Treads. It's huge. He doesn't need the hit points from Treads, and he wants to create space. Like, he needs to create a lot of space. Anti-Mage with space can farm faster than any other hero in the game. Boast has the blind set, but he's able to save Funnick from all the TPs coming in. If Sing Sing would have stayed there a second longer, he would have died. He did not. Dendi is still on the aggressive. All of the enemy heroes are here. Look, everybody's here, but he has 1,500 hit points, and he's able to just jump in like that. This is why Dendi gets criticized a lot, but also what makes him really good is that he's willing to take those risks. Like, that risk was it was a good idea to jump in like that. It just didn't work out for him. Well, now he gets a kill from behind the lines. Again, Pudge is everywhere. Always be scared. Be very, very afraid. So Dendi gets another kill. Just take a look at this. So Bone 7 is right here. He just hooks him up. So even though Axe is known to be a really tanky hero, has 14 armor and a lot of hit points, he's able to just outkill him with the Pudge. Oh, where did he go? So Dendi is down here. He's actually looking for the rune. Rune is a regen up top. Bose gets caught out of position. Dendi is going to try and save him, but it's not enough. So he decides to try and get another kill on Owie. Poor Owie. Poor Owie. This is half of his hit points from the hook. Over half of his hit points from a single hook. So that hurts. He's able to pick up the regen top, which is alright. So his goal now with that regen rune is to just blow his mana and his health, farming up some stuff. Gonna go regen after that, and then go get some kills. Like he's just gonna see like how quickly he can kill everything. That's his goal. Yeah, he doesn't care about anything else. He's just farming a little bit. Like I've got this regen rune. I kind of want to use it, but I want to take advantage of the fact that I have a regen rune right now. So he gets that, and then he smokes up again. So I think their smokes are, yeah, they're always on cooldown. They're always using smokes the entire time, which is really good to do, especially with a super ganky lineup. Just make sure that you're always using smoke. And he bottles an invis rune now, so he's got an invis rune and a smoke. He's just patiently waiting for the last kill. So if you notice, in the last 10 minutes, remember 10 minutes ago how I said he had 51 last hits and 13 denies? He's only gotten 10 more last hits since then, but he only had 2 kills. He's been a part of, 9 kills now. So like that's a 7-kill swing. 7 kills in 10 minutes is way better than 50 CS, because now if we take a look at Havos Anti-Mage, he got his Battle Fury at like 13 minutes, and he almost has Manta Style 22 minutes into the game. Like Havos has been able to just do whatever he wants. He's died twice, but he has 155 CS. Like it doesn't matter anymore. He can farm anywhere. He's got his Quelling Blade for 32% more creep damage, so he's just gonna push up here. He's gonna take out this creep camp, that creep camp. Like he's just gonna be like creep camp down, creep camp down, creep wave down. Like he's just gonna take those out while these 3 create space down here, or these 4 create space down here. And this will just ensure them the win. Funnick has gone for the massive push build. Blink hook. That is insane range. It is 2,500 range. It's like 2 screens away. If he's 2 screens away, he'll get a kill. You think you're safe? He actually hooks the wrong one right there. Not looking good for him. And he goes down. Passes 960 gold to Dazzle. So that would have been huge if Sing Sing would have gotten that 960 gold, because that would have been almost a completed Orchid. Like, Sing Sing has not been having a terribly good game. He's 1-5-6. But he would have been almost... He would have almost had an Orchid if he would have gotten that last hit. Which is why it's like super important to try and get, if you can get your carry the last hit. Obviously they just wanted him to go down because they didn't want him to blink away, but getting Storm Spear at the last hit instead of the Dazzle would have been amazing. Dazzle was able to buy treads and an urn from it, so now he can take more than 1 hook worth of damage, so he doesn't die instantly. He doesn't just get exploded. You can see Puppy's actually pushing the lane with his ult. Why not? Oh, hold on. Paying attention to other things. But Dendi is just waiting. So he actually just hooked a creep. Never mind. Too exciting. Dendi is patiently waiting. Patiently waiting. Look at this. He's just waiting here. You can actually like see the time go. He's been 20, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Yeah. Spent almost 50 seconds just right by that one camp. looking for somebody to go into that top creep wave. And he's able to go from so far away because of the blink dagger. So Dendi teleports into the fight. Boots of travel are good. Get the hook, get down Pilot Eye, and he's going to be able to keep chasing. Eternal Envy is actually doing really good this game. He's 7-0 with 5 assists. But Dendi's able to blink in and take care of him at the very last second. He was right before the TP gone. So if you actually take a look, he TPs, boom, like 0.2 seconds, dead. And then Funix is able to get that money. So he's got 3,600 gold, Midas, Necro 3, and Face Boots. He can do whatever he wants. Probably going to go Sheep because Eternal Envy does not have a BKB anywhere in sight. And if they get a Hex on Eternal Envy, he's going to die. Eternal Envy went for a very greedy build this game, and it's paying off for him, but that was his first stat. So I would not be surprised if Funny goes for a Sheep Stick here. Oh, he's going for a Scepter. Alright, never mind. Just kidding. So he's going for a Scepter. That's not a common item at all. Boots travel. Yeah, you're everywhere on the map at any point in time. Like, there's no escaping this Pudge. Like, you can't farm anywhere. I mean, if we take a look, it's like, what's safe to farm? You can't farm here. You can't farm, like, right here, even though... And they have wards up in the jungle. Like, you can't farm your jungle. You have this ward way up here. Like, this... See, he's getting rid of one of them. He actually has sentries. But you can't farm anywhere. And then with Pudge, with Boots of Travel and a Blink Dagger, now we got a BKB, which is a really nice pickup. This ensures that he can get the kill on Storm. Like, they have nothing that goes through BKB. Missed the hook on Pilot Die, but he's still going to go after Bone 7. Probably be able to...
Here a hero dies. Serves you right.
So at this point, Dendi's 9-1, and he's just going to make sure that Eternal Envy is not farming. Like, he doesn't want to... That... It's a nice BKB right there. Just like, oh, hey, you wanted to use your ult? Never mind. Not gonna happen. I'm just gonna be as big as the moon. Pudge is a fatty. Pudge is a fatty. Getting more kills. The team is dead. And that is GG. So... So there we go. That is Dendi's Pudge in a nutshell. There's not much else to explain besides that. Yeah. Just, there's Dendi's Pudge. He is able to do a lot of work with very little, and it just snowballs out of control. Like, if we take a look at the end of the game, actually, he has 10 kills, 1 death, 4 assists, but he has Blink Dagger, BKB, Boots of Travel. 82 last hits, which he was like the leader of the CS charts, but Funnick and Havos were able to both skyrocket when Dendi was creating all sorts of space. That's the value of a Pudge in a team, is that he doesn't carry your game, but he gives your team all the space that they need. A good Pudge will take a lot of risks. That's why Dendi is particularly good on Pudge. Pudge players who are conservative are not... That's not a good idea on Pudge. Like, if a Pudge is a conservative and going to be like, okay, I'm only going to get a few kills here and there, it's like, Pudge is meant to be overly aggressive. Now, not too aggressive as to the point that you're going to want to take out down your tower, like, have towers take you down all the time or anything like that, but the fact that Pudge has a skill that can actually kill himself means that he can go super aggressive. He can go get the kill and commit suicide, and it's a huge win. Like, if he goes, kills anybody, pretty much anybody, and then commits suicide, it's still a win for him because there's a big experience change. Like, the gold change is not that bad. Like, it's not that much because you died too, but you get some advantage from that. But the fact that you're able, if you can kill yourself, it's really, really important as a Pudge. Like, you kill yourself, they don't get any experience, they don't get any of your gold, you lose whatever gold you would normally do to die to, like, a neutral. So, that lets you be super aggressive. Your hook does pure damage, which usually spell damage is reduced by 25%, but pure damage is not. So it's like 25% bonus damage on top of 360. So you're looking at like basically 450 damage. It's like, think about it this way. At level 7, Pudge's hook does as much damage as Lion or Lena's ult. Like, very similar damage. Not quite as much, but it's very similar damage. Pulls them to you, and then you can just dismember them and rot them for another like 500 damage. There you go. So that's pretty much it as far as Dendi's Pudge goes. If you have any questions or any requests as far as what you want me to show, feel free to send it. I'm at RoopleeTV@gmail.com, and you can also just post here in the YouTube comments, or check it out on Twitch. Go for it. Yeah, that's about all I have. Thank you guys for joining in. Big thanks to Dendi for being an awesome Pudge that he is. Hopefully I didn't offend anybody with this video. I mean, I try to be as unbiased as possible when it comes to these videos, but hopefully if any pro players out there see any of these videos, don't take any offense. I'm just trying to give you an idea of, trying to help out the average gamer, you guys, everybody, to just understand the game better and play better, one hero at a time, and sometimes one strategy at a time. That's pretty much the goal. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is episode number 2. I'm going to be attempting to run this every Saturday and Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So that's when I'm going to be streaming it live on Twitch. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to be streaming it live on Twitch, and I'm going to be shooting it straight up to my YouTube channel. And I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.